Okay, you guys, so we're on to our next chapter. This is chapter 11. This is statistics. It's a pretty simple chapter. You guys can read the textbooks, or you guys can use my notes or any online resources. It's not as hard as our last chapter. Okay, so we're doing 11.1, just more or less an intro today. Just so you know, you guys have these things called measures of central tendency. Just in case you guys, see the wording. Okay, so the measures of central tendency. They're basically, we could say here, a number used to represent the center or the middle of the data. Data obviously are your numbers and so forth. The first one of central tendencies we're going to talk about is your mean. Well, that's pretty simple. Hopefully you guys are aware. The mean is your average, and you guys know how to find average. Your average is just the sum of all the numbers divided by the amount of numbers in the data. So just so you guys understand, it's just a fancy way. This symbol, make sure you guys know that. This symbol actually means the mean of the values, in case you're going to see me use that. So that actually means the mean, an X with a bar over it. And really what you're doing is you're taking the first value, you're taking the second value, the third value, the fourth value, and so forth, however many values. Like if I have 10, 20, 30, 40, and you're dividing it by, if that was 30, so you're dividing it by n. And we can just say again, n is the amount of numbers in data. Okay, pretty simple. So the next one I want to talk to you about is your median. Median's pretty easy to know. Just think median like in the median when you're driving in the road, or when you're driving on the road, and the median's in the middle. So we can say when, here's the key though, the numbers are in, here is the biggest thing you have to make sure you have. Your numbers must be in numerical order. And when they're in numerical order, the middle number is the median. Now, we have a little bit of, a couple of different two different scenarios that could arise. We could say if n, which is your data set, how many there are, is even. For example, 4, 7, 12, 15. You have an even set of numbers. Well, you don't have an exact middle, so then what you do is you take the two middle and you find the average of those. Or you're finding me, again, the middle. And in this case, 7 plus 12 divided by 2, your median here would be 9.5. Okay, if n is odd, for example, 3, 7, 9, well, clearly you guys can see your middle, and the middle in this case is 7. So those are your two scenarios that obviously you can happen. Okay, next, mode. Mode is easy. You could say it's number, a number, or numbers can be plural, or even nothing, or I should say none. That occur. Think mode, M-O for mode, M-O for most often. It's a number that occurs most often. So just so you guys are aware, you can have 0, obviously no numbers occurring most often. You can have 1 number occurring most often, 2, and so forth. Okay, now a range is not what we call a measure of central tendency, but I'm going to put this in here because it's pretty simple for you all. Your range is just the difference between the greatest and least value. Obviously, difference means you're doing subtraction. So that should be pretty simple. Okay, I guess I'll do a few examples. I know it's hard to do because you guys should be doing them in class, but let me just show you a few examples that you guys could eventually see. There's really nothing to these. I'm just going to kind of think which examples I want, just so you maybe can see how it's done. I mean, mean, median, mode, range, they're pretty self-explanatory. So I'm going to start with this. If I asked you guys to express something that's a little bit that's a little different, not as straightforward as just find me mean, median, mode. Express the mean of 2x plus 6x, because you're going to have these problems in your homework assignment, and 3x plus 2 as a binomial. Well, first of all, a binomial is 2 terms. That's pretty easy. When I'm asking you guys to calculate the mean, well, it's just polynomials. I'm just taking this plus that value. And how many terms are here? 1, 2, 3. There's 3 expressions. So 2x, 3x, and 3x, we have 6x. 6 minus 2. So we'd have 4, and then you want to take that and divide it by 3. You can give me that as your answer, or if you divide them individually, you would have 2x plus 4 over 3. It doesn't matter to me. Oh my God, that doesn't look like a 4. Okay, pretty simple. Okay, I want to try this question. If I said you receive a 72, a 91, and an 88 on your 3 exams, and then I say what grade, which you guys should know how to do this. This is what you guys can actually use. What grade must you receive on the next exam to get an average of 87? Okay? Well, it's pretty simple. Here's what you all would have to do. I mean, if you're setting something up to show me algebraically, you know you have one exam plus another exam plus your third exam plus I don't know exam. So that's where your x comes into play. All divided by the number of exams. So you have 4, and you want an average of 87. So that's a 91, not a decimal. So you add, you're going to get 251 plus x over 4 equals 87. Now you guys have to cross multiply. So cross multiply, and you get x equals 97. So that's how you guys can figure out grades and whatnot. I'm just trying to think of what problems I would want to maybe do with you guys. Just looking. That's kind of it. If you guys have any questions as you're doing the lesson or the homework, I should say, or the rest of the homeworks for the week, obviously just message me, because the only other problems I have are just some other problems, but they're more things that I would be doing with you in class to get you guys to do the work, just showing you practice problems. So I think you guys are okay. So just make sure you look over, again, your mean, average, your median is the middle, mode most often, and range. You guys should be fine. Okay, really easy lesson. Bye.